नमः सूर्याय चन्द्राय मङ्गलाय बुधाय च गुरुशुक्रशनिभ्यश्च राहवे केतवे नमः।
एको देवः, द्वे रात्रिः दिवा, त्रिमूर्तयः, चतुर्वेदाः, पञ्चभूतानि, the five elements of nature, षड् रसाः, the six different types of taste such as bitter, salt, सप्त ऋषयः, Marichi, Atri, Ashtadikpalakaah, Indra, Agni, and so on. Finally, we come to Nava Grahaah. As you can see, there are certain aspects or elements of nature that are closely associated with numbers. So, Nava goes with Grahas. Nava Grahas. I am Archana Murthy. Welcome to Jyotish Shastram Orientation channel. Namaskaraha. Today, we are going to look at the fundamental concepts of Grahas that you need to know. Let's start with etymology, that is, the origin and the meaning of the word Graha. This word can be related to the verb gruhnati, which is to seize or capture. The object that seizes and hence has an influencing effect is called Graha. Is there an equivalent word for Graha in English language? You might guess planet, but that isn't true. Let's look at the etymology of the word planet. Planet comes from a Greek word which means wanderer. Greeks named those celestial objects as planets that moved differently from stars. But as we know that the most accepted definition of planet is an astronomical body that moves around the sun. Based on the etymology, we understand that Graha is not equal to planet. So, did we get it wrong? Let me clarify. Our sages got it right. They knew that astronomically speaking, sun was the center of the solar system and there were objects revolving around it. There is supporting evidence in several ancient texts about this heliocentric theory, but our sages, due to their divine knowledge, went one step further. What did they identify? They identified that there were certain set of celestial objects that have a significant influence on Earth. These objects were eventually named as Grahas. Among them, we know that the sun and moon have the most prominent influence on us. Hence, these also fall under the category of Grahas, which is not the case when you look at it from the modern astronomical definition of planets. I hope it is clear now that Graha cannot be equated to a planet. Let's appreciate that our sages were very clear from the beginning. They gave equal importance on identifying what influences life on Earth and eventually formed a whole new branch of astronomy called Phalita Jyotisham, which did not develop in other countries. Westerners only focused on Siddhanta Skanda or astronomical facts, whereas we researched and advanced on both astronomical aspect and as well as the predictive aspect of Jyotish Shastram. As per Jyotish Shastram, we have 9 grahas that influence us. These are Surya, Chandra, Mangala, Budha, Guru, Shukra, Shani, Rahu, and Ketu. There is another concept called Upagraha. When people hear the word Upagraha, then they associate it only with satellite in English. This again is not entirely true, as Upagrahas are those objects that have impact on Earth but not as much as grahas. Upa means smaller, so Upagrahas are smaller grahas. Comets or Dhumaketu are good examples of Upagrahas. Let's start with Ravi, as per the order followed in Vara or days of the week. Surya, as we know, is the reason for our existence. Without the heat and light from Surya, we cannot survive. Hence, we call Surya as the Atma or soul in Jyotish Shastram. In Bhavishya Purana, Rishi Vyasa says that Daksha Prajapati's daughter, Aditi, married Brahma's son Kashyapa Rishi. Kashyapa and Aditi's son was in the form of an egg. This egg remained inactive for many days. Kashyapa examined the egg closely but realized that the egg was alive and said the following: the egg or anda is not dead or mrita. Surya was eventually born. Due to Kashyapa's statement, Surya is called Martanda from the words mrita and anda, Martanda. Since Surya is Aditi's son, he is also called Aditya. Next is Chandra. Over the years, we know that Chandra influences our mind. We have instances where psychological centers are extra alert during full moon and new moon days as it affects the inmates' minds. In Vishnu Purana and Matsya Purana, we see the description of the birth of Chandra. Brahma's son is Atri Rishi. After a very difficult japa and tapa, a tremendous energy was released from Atri, which formed Chandra. Chandra was made the master of all vegetation, juices, as in watery particles of the world, and ruler of nakshatras. There is a story in Brahma Vaivarta Purana as to why there is only a half Chandra on Shiva. Chandra married Daksha's 27 daughters, which are the 27 nakshatras. But Chandra was infatuated only with Rohini and spent more time with her. Daksha was furious with Chandra for being biased and cursed him to wither away. Chandra prayed to Shiva and requested to bring back his shape. Shiva agreed and made him whole again. Shiva put him on his forehead. But 27 wives of Chandra complained to Sri Krishna as Chandra remained with Shiva permanently. That's when Sri Krishna splits Chandra into two, where one half is with Shiva and the other half is returned to his wives. I mentioned earlier that Chandra spends more time with Rohini Nakshatra. Do you know that this is scientifically proven by modern astronomers and this phenomenon is called lunar occultation? Isn't this interesting that our Puranas noted this concept so clearly ages ago? This means that our ancestors had observed this phenomenon of Chandra closely and hence mentioned this in our Puranas. It makes you think how innovative our techniques were to remember these scientific concepts. The third Graha is Mangala. Rishi Vyasa in Brahma Vaivarta Purana mentions that Aditi's son Upendra married Bhudevi, that is Earth. Mangala is Bhumi's son and hence he is also called Bhauma. Isn't it interesting that Mangala or Mars is called Bhumiputra in our ancient scriptures? No other Graha is called Bhumiputra. As recent as around 19th century, scientists identified that Mars is similar to Earth. Mankind is now spending millions on the research about possibility of life on Mars. Mangala is the lord of energy or stamina. Chandra conducted Rajasuya Yajna and grew very arrogant and powerful. He abducted Brihaspati's wife Tara. The son born to Chandra and Tara is Budha, our fourth Graha. This is as per Vishnu and Matsya Puranas. Since Budha is the son of Soma or Chandra, he is also called as Saumya. Budha, or in English Mercury, is the lord of human intelligence and communication. In the Navagraha Stotra composed by Vedavyasa, he offers his salutation to Buddha as follows: Priyangu Kalika Shyamam Rupena Pratimam Buddham Saumyam Saumya Gunopetam Tam Buddham Pranamamyaham. The fifth Graha is Brihaspati, who is the Guru for Devas. He is also commonly referred as Guru. Brahma's son is Angiraha. Angira's son is Brihaspati. Since he is Angira's son, he is also called as Angirasaha. Guru or Jupiter in English is a great scholar and is the lord of knowledge. Guru Putram, Guru Gauravam, Guru Gnanam, Guru Dhanam. He provides progeny, respect, knowledge, and wealth. Hence, you can see that Guru plays a very important role in Jyotish Shastram. We will learn about these details when we get into the next level of Jyotish Shastram. The sixth Graha is Shukra. He is the son of Bhrigu Maharishi and the Guru for Asuras. As he is Brigu's son, he is also called as Bhargava, a proficient scholar who knew 64 art forms such as Kavya, Natya, history, rituals, computation, and so on. As per Vayu Purana and Padma Purana, Vishnu takes the Vamana avatar to kill King Bali Chakravarti. King Bali will be in the act of donating to people. At that time, Vishnu comes as Vamana and asks Bali for alms. But Shukracharya realizes that Vamana was none other than Vishnu, and hence he takes a miniature form. He blocks the whole of the Kamandalam to stop Bali Chakravarti from committing to Vamana's request. Vamana realizes the prank played by Shukracharya and pokes the blockage with grass, which results with the loss of Shukracharya's one eye. Shukra is also known as Venus in English. Shukra is the lord of love, beauty, and enjoyment. The seventh Graha is Shani. In Matsya Purana, the birth of Shani is described. Vishwakarma is the chief architect and his daughter is Sandhya. Sandhya married Surya. Sandhya couldn't bear Surya's heat and devised a plan. She created a replica of herself called Chaya, who was nothing but a shadow of herself. Except for the complexion, there was no difference between Sandhya and Chaya. Sandhya asked Chaya to take care of her children and live with Surya without Surya's knowledge. Sandhya went back to her father's place. In due course, Chaya had a son with Surya, who is our seventh graha, Shani. Shanaihi charati iti Shaneshcharaha. Shanaihi means slow in Sanskritam. This means that Shani moves slowly. We knew long back that Shani or Saturn moves slowly, and modern astronomy around 17th century discovered Saturn and proved that Saturn is the slowest moving planet. We should be proud that our scriptures are a treasure house of knowledge and so detail oriented. Unfortunately, the trend among a few Indians is that they accept our scriptures only if it is reiterated by Westerners. Anyways, coming back to our seventh graha, Shani is the lord of life, endurance, and conscience. He is also called Karma Phaladata, that is, who gives results as per your karma or deeds. The next two grahas are Rahu and Ketu, which are called Chaya grahas, which means that they don't have a physical existence but have a shadowy presence. In English, these are called lunar nodes or dragon head and dragon tail. To reiterate, Rahu and Ketu are points in space and not grahas. Where are these points? Earth revolves around the sun. This plane where Earth orbits is called ecliptic. Chandra revolves around the Earth. The point where the orbit of Chandra touches the ecliptic plane is called the lunar node. At 2 points, it touches the ecliptic. One node is called the north node or Rahu, and the other node is called the south node or Ketu. What do we have about Rahu and Ketu as per our scriptures? After the Samudra Manthana, Lord Vishnu, in the form of Mohini, will be distributing Amrita to Devas while Asuras will be awaiting their turn. One Asura by name Swarabhanu will be doubtful if the Amrita will eventually reach the Asuras and suspects a foul play by Mohini. Hence, he disguises himself as a Deva and stands between Surya and Chandra to receive the Amrita. Surya and Chandra realize that this Deva is in fact an Asura and alerts Mohini. But by then, Swarabhanu would have already consumed Amrita. Lord Vishnu immediately uses the Sudarshana Chakra and cuts off the head of Swarabhanu. But since Swarabhanu had consumed Amrita, he becomes two entities. First half of Swarabhanu with the head but no tail was called Rahu, and the second part of Swarabhanu with a tail but no head was called Ketu. As Surya and Chandra were responsible for the Asura Swarabhanu to become Rahu and Ketu, the Surya Grahana and Chandra Grahana occurs as a consequence. Rahu is the lord of desires and materialism, whereas Ketu is the lord of moksha or salvation. Also, we heard the shloka at the start of this episode where we offer salutations to the Navagrahas. A common mistake I see people make and would like to talk about that. The shloka goes as follows: Namah Suryaya, Somaya, Mangalaya, Budhaya cha, Guru Shukra Shanibhyascha, Rahave Ketave Namaha. The combined word Guru Shukra Shanibhyascha is a salutation to three Grahas, Guru, Shukra, and Shani. Hence becomes Guru Shukra Shanibhyascha. The next word Rahave. This is a salutation to Rahu. Hence it is Rahave and not Rahuve. Similarly, salutation to Ketu is Ketave and not Ketuve. Just like it is Gurave Namaha and not Guruve Namaha. This ends our episode today, where we understood the meaning of Graha and which definitely does not equate to planet. And we also saw the highlights of each of the Navagrahas. In the next episode, we will take a look at what is a horoscope and the basic structure of a horoscope. Till then, stay tuned. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please post them in the comment section and I'll be happy to clarify. Don't forget to subscribe to Jyotish Shastram channel. Dhanyavadaha.